Hey guys, today was a good day and I wanted to share with you why and what made it a good day is the fact that I passed the 107, Part 107 certification to fly a drone, and I am officially certified to be able to do that. And I wanted to share my experience because I have watched other YouTube videos where others have shared with me and it's been helpful. And I also thought too that if enough of us shared our experience as it happened, then there would be enough videos on YouTube where they would be current. Certainly a video 2-3 years ago is helpful, but maybe not as helpful as someone that's taking the exam today. And today is November 30th, 2021. And this morning I took the exam and I wanted to share my experience with you and in hopes of helping someone else just to communicate what the experience was like for me. When I initially decided to get the certification and I started doing my research, of course, you're going to go on YouTube and you're going to look and see what others have done. And I came across videos, and some of them were somewhat hilarious to me because, you see people that are, I opened the book last night and I went and took the test today and I made 100, and I don't want to make that kind of videos. I thought what would be more helpful would be to just tell you what my process was. And I'm not one of those that went and just read the FAA Part 107 in the FAA manual. I'm not the one that spent 2 days and then went and took the exam. I actually enrolled in a course. In fact, the course that I enrolled in was the Pilot Institute course, and I just went through that the study materials that were in that course, and their videos, and there are a lot of PDF files and a lot of resources that they direct you to. And that worked for me. I wasn't around anyone that had done this before and didn't really know what to expect. So I just decided that it would be worth my investment to just enroll in a course. And if that's how you feel, don't feel the pressure of watching other YouTube videos where people tell you that they only looked at some material and looked at a couple of videos and they went and took the exam and they aced it in a couple of days. If some people can do that, and if that works for some people, I'm not knocking that, but I'm just saying that if you want to take more time, and that's okay as well. And that's the route I took. I went through the study course that I had twice, and I went through other online resources as well as looking at other YouTube videos and that kind of thing. So what my experience was this morning when I took the exam is this. Most of the exam for me, I would say probably close to 50% or 25 to 30 of the questions that I had on my exam, and it's going to differ for everyone. My questions were on the sectional chart. I had a lot of questions regarding the sectional charts. A lot of the other things that I studied regarding the weather, aeronautical decision making, a lot of those questions weren't even on there. And if so, maybe I got one of them. But my test was heavily skewed toward the charts. So that's what my experience was today, November 30th, 2021. I felt like there were things that I was prepared for that I didn't see on the test. That's kind of what my experience was. I had 2 questions I was marking as I would answer questions, just to kind of, I wanted to get a feel as I was answering the questions of where I felt like I stood. I just wanted to kind of have a mental note as I answered questions. There were 2 questions that I guessed at. I had no idea where that information came from. I had never seen it in my studying. I don't even remember what the questions were, but I just remember when I got to those questions, I was like, I don't even know what this information is. There's something on the test that you can do is you can bookmark questions that you're not sure of, and you can come back to those questions. I did that probably on 8 questions. So that gives you an indication that I was feeling pretty confident as I was answering the questions and going through the test. I didn't get the feeling that, wow, I don't know this information or I hadn't seen it. Now, I will say this. I went through many examples of study or sample exams, and I may have had 1 or 2 questions that were verbatim, that were exactly like something that I had studied, where I didn't even have to really read the question, which you do that. Don't not read on the test. Slow yourself down and read through every word. But I had 2 questions that I had seen in my practice. That's also another little indication for you. 58 of the questions, let's say 56 minus the 2 that I had no clue of, 56 of the questions I had never seen before in my study questions. So point being to you is, as you're studying for this 107 certification, don't memorize the study questions that you're going through this process. Do not memorize, because you're not going to see those questions on there. What you should do is you should study the concept and try to understand the content, the information. And if you understand the information, then you can navigate your way through the exam, and it's not difficult. I finished the exam in 39 minutes. You get 2 hours. And when I answered question 60, I looked at the computer screen and I was 39 minutes in. The exam isn't difficult by any means. The questions, however, are going to be worded in such a way that you haven't seen those questions before. The study questions and the practice exams that you go through in preparation for the exam, they are not going to be on the test word for word. So a tip to you is, don't fall into the trap of memorizing the sample test and the resources that you're going to go through in preparation for the exam. Don't do it. Instead, what I will share with you as a helpful tip is, just know the material. If you grasp the concepts, you're going to be fine. Another thing that I'll share with you is, once you take the exam, you're going to notice that what I found was that the questions on the exam, they weren't difficult, in that I had gone through some YouTube videos where maybe someone else's experience was they felt like there were trick questions, and I didn't find that at all. What I did find, I'd heard other people say that there may be one question that was obviously not the correct question, and I felt like I had my fair share of those where you could easily eliminate a question. Each question is going to have 3 answer options, which also makes it easier for you as the test taker. And I had several where I could easily eliminate one question. And then once I answered the correct, or what I thought was the correct answer, what I found on my exam was that even the second option really wasn't even close. So I didn't have any questions that I can recall on my exam where I felt like I narrowed it down to maybe 2 options, and they were so closely related that it was just difficult for me to make a decision. What I found is that once I kind of decided that this is the correct answer and this is the way I'm going to go, it was pretty obvious. So what you'll find out is the more you study, the more time that you put into your preparation, not to worry. I didn't find that the exam was difficult. In fact, I felt like I was really over prepared for it. I just went through and was answering the questions. I never felt like anything was in jeopardy. I felt good all the way through. And it's simply because I took the time and I felt like I had a good grasp of the concepts and the information. I hope all of this is helpful. You're going to do fantastic on it. Just put in the time and you'll do just fine. And if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below and I'll do whatever I can do to help you and share. And then the only thing I ask you to do is when you pass and you get your certification, you do the same thing. You pay it forward and you make a video and you share your experiences so that someone else may be able to benefit from something that you've done. And I hope that someone will be able to be benefited from the information that I'm sharing, and this is encouragement for someone else. So take care, and I look forward to hearing from you.